Hello everyone, welcome to Mechanical Sati. So today in this video we are going to discuss some numericals on dynamic analysis of slider crank. So before this video we have uploaded some more videos on theory of machines. So in those videos we have discussed some more numericals from the GET which were asked previously. So if you have not watched those videos, then you can find them from the playlist of theory of machines, or else I will attach those links in the description box of this video, and you can see here also. So if you have not subscribed our channel and you are new here, then you can subscribe it and press on the bell icon so that you will be getting all the notifications from our channel whenever we'll be uploading any video in it. So without wasting time, let us move forward and start our discussion, and nearly we'll be trying to discuss 6 to 7 numericals today. So let us start it. So for this first question is that the crosshead velocity in the slider crank mechanism for the position shown in figure. So for this position which is given here, we need to calculate the crosshead velocity. That means we can say we need to calculate the velocity of this slider. So options are given like this: BC cos 90 minus alpha plus beta cos beta, and here sec beta, and here cos alpha minus beta cos beta, and here change, that is alpha minus beta sec beta. Okay, so we need to find out the crosshead velocity, that is the velocity of this slider. So let us try to draw the or locate or denote all the links over here. So if I'll be trying to give name of the links, then I can give the name this link, that is fixed link, or this can I can say this is the cylinder as link 1, and here this fixed link we can say link number 1. Then this crank length, that crank radius, we can say this is your link number 2, and this connecting rod as link number 3, and this slider as link number 4. So after giving the this name of the links, then I can use the instantaneous center method for finding the velocity of the slider. So let us locate the instantaneous center for all those links. So let us see the diagram over here. So if I'll see the diagram over here, then this is the link number 1, this is the fixed link, and this is the link number 2, 3 and 4. So now if I will try to calculate all those instantaneous center, then for this 1 and 2 I'll be getting the instantaneous center somewhat here. So I12 I'll be getting here, then 2 3, that is I23 I'll be getting here, then 3 4, that is I34 I'll be getting here. Then if I will try to calculate I14, then so 4 number link that is here, and it will be sliding in this way. Okay, so it will be translating in this way. Then we cannot get a fixed instantaneous center, so it will be a variable one, we can say, and it will be perpendicular to this line somewhat here. Okay, so above this will be getting our instantaneous center for 1 and 4. So we can say I14 will be somewhat at infinity. Okay, then after, if what we will be requiring, so let me use pen over here. Okay, so we have to use the angular velocity theorem method. So we need to find out this velocity. Okay, so I can say I need to find out the v4 over here. So v4 I can write, that will be equal to omega 4 into I24 into that is I14, that is the distance between instantaneous center 24 and instantaneous center 14, and this will be equal to the multiplication of omega 2 with I12 and I24. So this will be, we are going to calculate, and this value can be calculated by using this relation. This is the angular velocity theorem method. So if we can calculate omega 2 and the distance in between your instantaneous center I24 and I12, then we can calculate the velocity of point 4, or that is your link 4, that is the velocity of slider. So here we can say omega 2, so this is the omega 2, okay, omega 2 of that means we can say angular velocity of this crank is your omega 2. So this can be calculated by the linear velocity at point C divided by this radius. So I can say, so linear velocity at point C, that is let BC, and radius that we can take, let this is R. So crank radius we may take as R. So omega 2 we can find out by using this relation, that is BC by R. And next we need to find out the distance between I12, that is instantaneous center 1 2, between 1 2, and instantaneous center between 2 and 4. So for calculating this instantaneous center, first we need to find out the or locate the instantaneous center, that is 2 4. So how can we locate that? We can use the rectangular method, that let this is the 1 2. So let me erase all those things. Then this is 1 2 3 4, and we need to find out the instantaneous center, sorry, we need to find out the instantaneous center in between 2 and 4. Then I can go in this way. That means we need to find out or locate 2 1 instantaneous center and 1 4 instantaneous center. Then we need to draw a line in between these 2 points. Okay, then again I need to locate 2 3 instantaneous center and 3 4. Then I need to draw another line between these 2 points. Then the coincident point or intersection point between these two lines will give me the instantaneous center for 2 and 4. So let us do that. I can do what, that is I can go 1 2 line, okay, that is instantaneous center that is in between 1 2. So this point and instantaneous center between 1 4. So will be getting in this straight line over here. So I14 will be getting in somewhat at infinity, we can say. So I'll be getting this straight line over here. The next way was that, that is we can go through your 2 3, okay, and 3 4. So I was writing like this. So 1 2 3 4. So I can go in this way. So I can look at 2 3 and 3 4. So 2 3 point I'll be getting somewhat here, and 3 4 will be somewhat here. Then by connecting these 2 points, I'll be getting a straight line like this. So the intersection point of these two lines will be somewhat here, so that I can say your I24 will be somewhat here. So let us try to find out now the distance in between your I24 and I12, so that we can calculate the value of your B4. So let us try to do that. So if I will be calculating the value of I24 and that distance in between I24 and I12, so I will be getting a triangle over here. So let me draw that triangle. Okay, so if I'll be drawing that triangle, so I am drawing this triangle over here. So which triangle will be getting here? So that triangle I have drawn over here. So from this triangle I can name this is as O. So if we'll be using the instantaneous center, so I can give this name, that is I12, and this is I24, and this is I23. So this angle will be getting that this angle is your alpha. So this angle will be your 90 minus alpha. So this angle will be getting, that is 90 minus alpha. Then this angle will be your what? So this angle is your beta and this angle is your alpha. Okay, so we'll be getting the whole total angle as alpha plus beta. So this angle will be getting, that is alpha plus beta. Likewise we can calculate this angle. So this angle we can calculate, that is I24. So that can be calculated by you, because your this angle is beta. Okay, so this angle is beta, so here we can say this angle will be also beta. So this total angle, that is I24, the I23, I24 and I12, that angle we can calculate as your 90 minus beta. So this angle we can calculate, that is 90 minus beta. So now what we need to find out the distance between these 2 points. So let I am taking this is as x. So let I am taking this is as x. Let me change the color over here. Okay, so let me take this length as x, and we know the radius we have taken, that is r, that is the crank radius. So we can use the sine law over here. So according to sine law, the side then opposite of the opposite angle, okay, sine of the opposite angle will be equal. Okay, the side divided by sine of opposite angle will be equal. So I can write over here r. Okay, r is the radius divided by your sine of opposite angle. So sine of opposite angle, so this angle is given as 90 minus beta. So sine of opposite angle, that is 90 minus beta. The sine I can write sine 90, sorry, okay, sine 90 minus beta. Okay, that will be equal to what? That will be equal to x divided by sine of opposite angle. So that will be equal to what? X divided by sine of opposite angle. So that we can write alpha plus beta. Okay, so this value will be getting here. So from here we can calculate the value of x. So let me erase all those things over here. So if will be here we can calculate the value of x. So value of x will be getting here. So x will be equal to what? So that will be equal to your, this will be multiplied here. So we will be getting r sine alpha plus beta divided by, okay, so divided by your sine 90 minus beta. So we can write it as cos beta. Okay, so value of x we have calculated, that is your r sine alpha plus beta divided by cos beta. Now we need to put in the formula for b4. So we have calculated the formula b4, that is equal to what? That is omega 2, or we can say omega 2 we have find out, that is equal to bc by r into r sine alpha plus beta divided by cos beta. Okay, r can be cancelled over here. Then as we'll be looking options, then in all the options there this term is in the form of cos alpha plus beta, or cos that is 90 minus alpha plus beta, or cos 90 plus minus alpha minus beta. So we can write it in the form of cos 90 minus alpha plus beta. So let us write it. So we can write bc into cos 90 minus alpha plus beta. Another thing, I can write this 1 by cos beta in the form of sec beta. Okay, so we'll be getting our the final formula, that is bc into cos 90 minus alpha plus beta into sec beta. So b4 will be getting as this. So let us check which option is correct. Okay, so here if we'll check, then we'll be seeing that a, this option is not matching to our answer, and b option is matching to our answer. So we'll be getting b option is our answer. So let us move towards the next question and try to solve that one also. So here it is telling that consider a triangular formed by the connecting rod and crank. Okay, so here a triangle is formed by your connecting rod and crank, so of an IC engine. as two sides of the triangle. So if the maximum area of the triangle occurs when the crank is 75 degree, so when crank is 75 degree, then your maximum area will be getting what we need to find out, the ratio of connecting rod length to the crank radius. Okay, so basically what we need to find out, we need to find out the okay, that is the L by R. Okay, where L is the connecting rod length and R is the crank radius. Okay, so let us try to draw the diagram over here first. So we'll be getting a diagram like this, where this will be the connecting rod length, that is L, and this is R. So and here somewhere it will be fixed. Okay, so let me give the names over here. So let this is the AO, okay, O point, and this is A point, and this is B point. Okay, so here we can say this is the base, okay, which will be the base length. Okay, so here it is telling that this angle your 75 degree. So at 75 degree angle your area is maximum. So area we can find out by using the formula, that is half into base, okay, base into height. So now if I will consider this triangle for calculating this height, let this name I can give, that is P. So this height I can calculate by using this triangle. So if I will take sine 75 over here, that is sine 75 in this triangle, that is APO, then I can calculate that is AP divided by your what, that is AO. Okay, so I can write this is as R. Okay, so I can write this is R, and this AP here we can calculate by multiplying this R in this side. So I'll be getting R sine 75. So here we will see R is a constant value and sine 75 is also a constant value. So AP will not vary. Okay, so area will not vary with respect to your AP, because AP is not changing and this is the constant one. So we can it is not necessary to calculate HP over here. So now let us calculate the base over here, that is base, so we can say that is BO, and try to find out the variable over there. So in BO, that means we need to consider this triangle over here, and we can apply the sine law for finding the value of BO. So if we'll be applying the sine law over here, then BO and sine of the opposite angle, so that we can write sine A. Okay, so BO divided by sine A, that will be equal to, we can write this length, that is the length of the connecting rod, L, divided by sine of the opposite angle, so we can write as 75. Okay, so BO by your sine A will be equal to L by sine 75, and we can calculate here BO, that will be equal to L sine A. So we can write this sine A over here, so we can write L sine A divided by your sine 75. So here L is constant, your and sine 75 is also constant. So if will be changing the value of angle, that is A, then your B will be BO will be your changing. Okay, so here we can say your area will be maximum when base is maximum. Okay, so base will be maximum when your sine A will be equal to 1. Okay, so maximum value of sine we know that will be equal to 1. So base will be maximum when your sine A will be equal to 1, and sine A will be equal to 1 when your A will be equal to 90 degree. So your angle we can find out, that is angle A, that will be equal to 90 degree over here. So now we can get a triangle, that is right angle triangle. So let us try to use the formula for finding the what, that is connecting rod length divided by your crank radius. So we need to find out the L by R. So in this right angle triangle we can put the formula for tan theta, so that we can find out tan so that is tan. Okay, so tan 75, that will be equal to L by R, and tan 75 we can calculate, that value will be getting, that is 3.73. okay, so 3.73 will be getting as our answer, so we can say here C option will be the correct one. Okay, so let us now move towards next question, that is question number 3. okay, so let us try to discuss about this question. So for mechanism shown below, the mechanical advantage for the given configuration is what? So mechanical advantage, so let us try to write that fast. So mechanical advantage we can write, that will be equal to torque input divided by torque output. okay, and that will be equal to again omega input divided by omega output. okay, so speed, angular speed divided angular speed which is be given, and angular speed which will be getting, that will be your the ratio of that will be your mechanical advantage. So here we'll be getting the angular speed input or output, or here there will be no torque. So we can see over here, so here out input is given somewhat here, and output will be obtaining somewhat here. okay, so there will be some angular input, but will be not getting any angular output, angular velocity as output. So we can say angular output, angular velocity output here will be getting as 0. so if angular velocity at output will be equal to 0, then mechanical advantage we can say something. okay, so that omega input will be some value and divided by 0, so we'll be getting infinity as our answer over here. So we'll be getting infinity as our answer. So option we are matching with option number D, that is D option will be the correct answer over here. So next, that is question number 4. Let us try to read it. So a 4-bar linkage in toggle position. okay, so in toggle position the value of mechanical advantage is what? So we need to use the 4-bar linkage over here, and is it toggle position? So toggle position means what? It is the extreme position of the linkage. okay, so extreme position we can say, so extreme position is known as your toggle position. okay, so at the extreme position we need to find out the value of mechanical advantage over here. So you can remember here toggle position means extreme position. So at the extreme position we need to find out the mechanical advantage. So in a 4-bar mechanism we can say, so let I am drawing a 4-bar mechanism, and these are the number of links. So this is now link number 1, this is link number 2, and this is link number 3, and this is the link number 4. okay, so let this is the output to link over here. Then we can say at the your toggle position, that means at extreme position your output velocity or output angular velocity will be getting as 0 again. So if I'll be getting angular velocity, that output at output is 0, then again we can say something by 0, that will be equal to infinity over here. So we can get as our answer for the question number 4 is the option number D, that is your infinity. okay, now let us move towards next question, that is question number 5. So let us read it. An offset cylinder crank mechanism is shown in figure at an instant. So conventionally here the quick return ratio is considered to be greater than 1. The value of quick return ratio is what? okay, so here crank radius is given as 20 mm, and connecting rod length it is given as 40 mm, and the offset distance which is given as 10 mm over here. So let us try to calculate the value of what quick return ratio. So let us see the diagram over here. So we'll be getting somewhat like this. So now if I'll be drawing, so okay, so extreme positions we can find out over here. So let me draw the extreme position for the right end. So let this is the fixed point. okay, and let me change the color over here. okay, so okay, so uh, let me draw the first extreme position, that the right end extreme position. So the extreme right end will be getting somewhat here when it will be totally elongated. Okay, so we can get your extreme position somewhat here. So we can find this length. Okay, so when it will be both of the lines at a straight line, we can say total length we can get, that will be equal to what, this will be somewhat 20 and this is 40. Then we can get this total length as your 60 mm. Okay, so total length will be getting as 60 mm. Then from this we can find out to this angle. Okay, so this angle we can get by using the tan theta. Okay, sorry, that is your, we can use sin theta. Okay, so sin theta. Okay, so let sin theta we need to find out for finding this angle. So sin theta we can write out this length divided by this length. Okay, so this is your 10 divided by 60. So theta we can find out. Okay, so this is, so theta, that will be equal to what, sine inverse 1 by 6. So we will be calculating this value, will be getting us, okay, that is your 9.59 degree. Okay, so that is, will be getting 9.59 degree. Okay, so from here we can calculate the value of theta over here. So now let us try to draw the left extreme position. Okay, so left extreme position will be getting somewhat here when your, okay, let me draw over here. So let this is the fixed point. Okay, and your crank radius is somewhat here. So this point, so this point, sorry, this point will be, this point will be somewhat here, and your connecting rod will be somewhat like this. Then here will be having the slider, and this will be the left extreme position. Okay, so for this region, this length we can find out. Okay, so this total length of the connecting rod is 40 mm, and this your crank radius, it is given as 20 mm. So this length we can find out as 20 mm. Okay, then now we can calculate this angle. Okay, so this angle or this angle we can say, so this angle will be equal to this angle. Then if we can calculate this angle, then this angle can be calculated. So this angle we can calculate it. So this value is again 10 mm, and this is, we have calculated at 20 mm. So now if we'll be putting sine again, let this is theta 1, then we can calculate by your 10 by 20. Okay, so your theta 1 will be equal to what, that will be equal to sine inverse 10 by 20. Then that can be calculated as your 30 point. Okay, let 30, so nearly about will be getting our 30 is the answer. So theta 1 we have got as our 30, and your theta we have got as our 9.59. So let us use all these data and try to calculate the value of QRR. So we can say when your slider is at the right hand position, so this is the position like this. Okay, and this angle we have got as 9.59. Okay, and at the right hand position, okay, so right hand position it is somewhat like this. Okay, and this angle we have calculated 30. Okay, so with this during this angle we can say our quick return. Okay, your stroke is taking place, and your this angle it is being returned. Okay, so let us try to calculate this angle divided by this angle. So we'll be getting our quick return ratio as greater than 1, because this is the greater one and this is the smaller one. So let us find out first this angle, then after calculating this angle we can calculate this angle. Again, after calculating all these two angles we can find out the quick return ratio. So this angle can be calculated by what, so this is totally, so let me erase. So this total angle is your 180. Okay, so we need to deduct this value and we need to add this value. Okay, so this angle we can find out. So for that reason we can write 180 minus this angle. So this is your 30 plus this angle, that is 9.59. So if we'll calculate this value, then we'll be getting as our answer, that is 159.59. So this angle will be getting 159.59. so now if we'll be trying to calculate the QRR, so which is given as greater than 1 over here. So this total angle, okay, so this total angle divided by this angle, so this total angle we can find out by 360 minus 159.59 divided by this angle, that is 159.59. so if we'll be calculating this total value, then I'll be getting as 1.25. so your quick return ratio will be getting here as 1.25. so 1.25, so 1.25 will be the answer over here. Okay, now let us move towards next question, that is question number 6. so let us read it. A slider crank mechanism with crank radius is given as 60 mm. okay, so let me use pointer over here. So it is given as 60 mm and connecting rod is given as 240 mm is shown in figure. So the crank is rotating with a uniform angular speed that is given as 10 radian per second in counterclockwise. So angular speed is given in this direction, that is 10 radian per second. Okay, angular velocity is given, angular speed is given 10 radian per second, and it is in counterclockwise. So for the given configuration, the speed of the slider we need to find out. That means we need to calculate the velocity of this slider. So already we have formulated this value. Okay, so let us try to again here use our instantaneous method so that we can calculate it. So let us move forward and try to see this. Okay, so if we'll see here, then I can name this is as per link 1, 2, and okay, so this is the link 1 again. So let me use the pen. Okay, so this is the link 1 and this is the link 2 and this is the link 3 and this is the link 4 and this will be again link 1. Okay, so this will be link 1. So if I'll be trying to draw the your or locate the instantaneous center, then here I'll be getting I12. Okay, here I'll be getting I23. Here I'll be getting I34. Okay, I34, and I14 will be getting somewhat at infinity. Okay, so I14 at will be getting somewhat at infinity because your slider is sliding, and so that will be getting perpendicular to that your plane, that is the fixed plane. Okay, so we need to find out the velocity of link 4. so we need to calculate the velocity of v4. so that can be calculated by omega 2 into I. Okay, so I between these two links. Okay, instantaneous this common instantaneous center between these two links, that is I24. Okay, and distance between I24 and I12. Okay, so the distance between the instantaneous center, that is I24 and I12, we need to calculate it. So omega 2 is already given over here. So if we can find out this distance, then we can calculate the value of v4. So for that reason, we need to locate omega that is I24 first. So I24 we can locate by using this rectangular method again. So what we need to do, we need to consider these 2 points, that is I12 and I14. then we need to draw a a straight line, and again we need to draw a straight line by using these 2 points I23 and I34. then the intersection point of these two lines will be getting as our instantaneous center for 24. Okay, so let us try to do that. This is I12 point. Okay, so this is I12 and I14 will be getting somewhat at infinity. So we can draw a line like this. So we'll be getting this straight line by using 1, 2 and 1, 4. Likewise, this is I23 point and this is I34 point. So by if we'll be extending these two lines, then we'll be getting a straight line like this. So the intersection point of these two lines will be somewhat here. So at this point we'll be getting the your instantaneous center for I24. Okay, so now we need to calculate this distance. So this distance we can calculate by using your what, that is again sine. Okay, so will be using sine, your sine of the angle. We can calculate the value of your this distance. Okay, so now let us calculate first this angle. So in this triangle we know that your this side is given as 60 mm only, and this angle we can find out to as 90 degree. So from if we can calculate any side, this length or any other side or this angle, then we can calculate the value of this side. So let us try to calculate this side so that we can calculate this side actually. So let us find out this angle first, then after we can calculate the this side. So let us consider the triangle that is okay. So let me erase all these things over here. Okay, so now if we'll be considering this triangle, okay, so in this triangle we can find out to this angle over here. Okay, so let me erase. Okay, so in this triangle we can calculate the value of this angle. So because your 60 this is given and this 240 is also given, so let us try to find out to this angle first, then after finding this angle we can find out to this angle also. Okay, so this angle we can find out to by using your tan theta. Okay, so if we'll be using tan theta, so let this angle is theta, then I can write P by B, so that is 240 divided by 60, that will be equal to 4. Then tan, so theta will be equal to what, tan inverse 4, and that will be equal to what, let me check, 75.96. so we'll be getting this is as theta. So if we have calculated this angle, so now we have calculated this angle, so now we can calculate this angle also. So this angle will be equal to what, 90 minus theta, so that if we'll be deducting this value from the 90, so we'll be getting as, so let me check it, so we'll be getting as 14.03. so this angle will be getting as 14.03. so now we have calculated this angle, so that is 14.03. so now if we'll be taking this your what, we can take the cos value. Okay, so we can take cos of 14.03, then we'll be writing it as your base. Okay, so this height, okay, so that will be equal to I24, sorry, that is 24, I24 and I12. Okay, so divided by this distance, so that is given as 60. so from here we can calculate the value of this one, so that can be calculated as, so let me calculate this value, so we'll be getting as 61.84. okay, so this distance we can calculate, that is your 61.84. then simply we need to put in the B4 formula. so B4 was equal to omega into 61 point, that is 84, then omega was given as 10. okay, so simply if we'll be multiplying this, then we'll be getting as 61.8.4, and it is given in. Okay, so let us okay, so here we'll be getting this is as our mm. okay, so and your omega is given in terms of radian per second, so we'll be getting here mm per second. Okay, so it will be converting mm per second into meter per second, so we can write it as 0.618 meter per second. So this will be the correct answer over here, that is we can write 0.618 or 0.6 nearly. Okay, so this will be the correct answer over here. So now let us move towards next question, that is the question number 7. Let us read it. The certain slider, okay, crank mechanism, length of the crank and the connecting rod are equal. So length of the crank and the connecting rod is equal, it means we can write L is equal to R. Okay, the crank rotates with a uniform angular speed, okay, that is given as 14 radian per second. So omega we can write it is given as 14 radian per second. The crank length is given as 300 mm, means this L is equal to R, which is equal to what, 300 mm. Okay, so the maximum acceleration of the cylinder we need to find out in terms of meter per second square. Okay, so acceleration in the we can find out by using the formula, that is equal to R omega square. So you need to remember this formula, so that is cos theta plus cos 2 theta divided by n. Okay, where n is equal to what, so n is equal to L by R. So in this case L and R equal, so we can find out n equal to 1. And theta value here we need to find out the maximum value of acceleration. Then acceleration will be maximum when this cos theta value will be equal to 1, and this cos theta value will be also this, I mean this cos 2 theta will be equal to 1. Then this cos theta will be equal to 1 when your theta will be equal to 0. So let us take the value of theta is as 0. So again this term will be equal to 1. So 1 by 1, again this term will be equal to 1, this term will be equal to 1. So maximum acceleration will be getting, that is 2r omega square. Okay, so let us put all those values over here which is given, so that we can calculate the value of maximum acceleration. Okay, so maximum that will be equal to 2, R is given in 300 mm, so let us convert into meter. So we can write 0.3 meter. Okay, and omega is given as 14, and let us square it. And if we'll be calculating this value, we'll be getting as 117.6 meter per second square. So this will be the correct answer, that is 117 over here. So it was asked in 2015 for 2 marks. So simple question, simply you need to remember the formula over here. Okay, so now with this we have reached at the end of lecture for today. So if you like these videos, then press on the like button, and if you are new here, then subscribe it and press on the bell icon, so that you will be getting all the notifications from our channel whenever we'll be uploading in it. So do share it. Okay, so be safe, take care. Okay, thank you for watching.